Confidence is about how you see yourself. Welcome to the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Yo, positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. This is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, your host here on this dope podcast known as the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Welcome. I am so happy again to be before you guys. I got another special guest that I'm really excited about sitting down and having a dope conversation with. But you guys know around here, there's a certain protocol that we must follow. And that protocol is talking to the Father and paying our bills. So with that being said, Father, we thank you for another day. We thank you for another second on earth because we understand that these moments in life are truly precious. So we thank you very much for what you have given us thus far. Right now, we ask you to bless us as we go across these airways, that we may be a blessing to someone where they're at, especially in time of their need. These things we do pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Boom. Next part of the schedule is, you guys know, got to pay the bills around here. So first and foremost, today's sponsor of the podcast is Quantum Fitness. So check this out, guys. I've been working out with this team of dudes for the last 3.5 months, and my body has changed dramatically. I got pictures, I got the befores and afters to prove it. So let me tell you, if you want to make the decision to make your body, take your body into a complete transformation, holla at the guys over at Quantum Fitness and let them know that the guys over here at Uniquely Confident sent you, and he'll give you 20% off on anything, on any of the service he provides. So appreciate that. Next paid sponsor of this beautiful podcast is Cassie's Classic Design. I'm actually wearing some of the products that she creates over here at Cassie's Classic Design. So check this out. For all your print needs, she even makes signs and cups. Anything you needed something printed on, she can do it. So check her out. She's on Instagram at Cassie's_classic_design. And if you want to get at her directly on Gmail, you can get at her at Cassie'sClassicDesign@gmail.com. Yo, listen, guys, without further ado, I'm about to introduce the man of the hour, my man, Mr. Mindful Minute, Victor. What it do, my dude?
What's going on, good brother?
How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm great. You already know it.
Oh, man, I love it. I love it, King. Like, yo, I'm just super excited to bring you to the platform, King. We had the opportunity to speak offline before, and not really offline, but it was online when we first actually had our first conversation.
Right.
Let me give everybody the backstory. I was actually on a live, and you guys know, anybody who follow me, I was just kicking the game that I normally kick about building your confidence and all these things. And my good brother right here was like, yo, you know what? He has some value to add to the conversation. And I was like, you know what? I would love to bring him live, but I was actually in the middle of traveling. And I said to myself, you know what? I got to get this brother on the podcast because I really understand he got so much value to give in this space. So my brother, listen, tell the people who you are and what you do, man.
All right. So my name is Victor Freeman, also known as Mr. Mindful Minute across all platforms. And what I do is I help people to actually bridge the gap between their mental, their physical, and their emotional by using affirmations and then helping you to come up with action steps so you can follow through and overcome things like procrastination, low self-esteem, low confidence, low self-worth, so you can actually transition and now you didn't bridge that gap and get on the other side of it.
Yo, listen. As you were sitting here talking, you reminded me of my mentor once again, telling me using the GPS motto as a reference. So GPS stands for goals, plans, and systems, right? Like once you have those three set up in your life, you got a direction, right? You got a purpose, you got something to work towards. So it's like everything is set up for you to win at that point. And you just mentioned right now that it sounds like a phenomenal system. So I want to dive a little bit into that with you right now, my good brother. Explain a little bit more about that process.
And it's very interesting that you use the word GPS, right? Because I tell people that that's what my coaching is like with me. So we know with the GPS system, sometimes you put it in even though you know where you're going.
Right.
And the reason that you would put the information in because you know where you're going is because there are things that you're going to not be able to see. Correct. That's what I'm here to help you with. So now when you're navigating to get to your destination, I'm going to be able to say, oh, there's an accident in the road, somewhere a little ahead, something that you didn't see.
Right.
And how I do that is by asking specific questions to make you now really think, because this is not about the results that I want you to get. This is about the results that you want to get. And I'm just here to be your GPS to help you to get there, because there are going to be some roadblocks that may come up. But how are we going to still get to our destination? Because we can't say, oh, well, I'm just not going to get there. No, we got to come up with something that is going to help you to be able to get there. And that's what coaching with me actually is like. And so what my system is, right? My system is built off of affirmations. So I have a free system that I actually give people, right? When you get on a call with me for 15 minutes, we come up with a couple of affirmations, but I teach you how to use the affirmations. See, a lot of people talk about affirmations, but I actually figured out how to use them properly. I learned the science between frequency in our bodies. I even learned how to actually bridge the connection. And that's why I say I help you bridge the connection from your mental, your physical, and your emotional, because we actually going to link the three together, and you're going to use the affirmations, but it's going to now make you feel a way that you never did before. Because we just know that sometimes you just don't feel like it.
Right.
Sometimes you like, man, I'm just so tired. I don't even want to do this. Well, I'm going to actually help you to come up with some affirmations that's going to help you to now engage with yourself so you can now have energy. Listen, I sometimes say certain affirmations and say them a certain way that when I am dead tired, I now have energy. I promise you.
Yes. You speak those things that are not. Like I'm a little biblical with it. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the
absolutely.
same. That's the same exact motto and principle. Like it's times where you spoke about it. We just don't feel like doing certain things, right? Like, but I remember my grandfather, my grandmother used to tell me, is like the thing that you don't want to do that you have to do. That's what builds character, right?
Right.
And that's the message that I preach the most. Is like, in order for you to really be confident as you want to be, you got to really build your character. If your character is in question, there's no way you're going to be confident in yourself on no level.
Absolutely, and that's very true. And so now watch this, right? Because we know what words have the ability of doing, because you said it already from a biblical standpoint, right? You can speak something into existence.
Yes.
But we can now actually speak ourselves into existence.
Ooh, talk to me nice.
Listen, and it's just so crazy because people don't see the connection between it. Right. And so what I show people is how to also use visualization. See, we lost that idea of using visualization the proper way, because they say, oh, well, use your imagination.
Right.
But understand, visualization is also your imagination. But if you use visualization the right way, and then with affirmations, you can now visualize the person that you want to become while also becoming the feelings that you want to have. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
You can create the feelings that you want to have. Affirmations do that, but also visualization does it.
And like, you know what's so crazy, that you even that the fact that you stressed about the feeling. It's more confirmation to me. What I've been dealing with is the understanding that life itself, the essence of life, it's a feeling. We do everything in life for a feeling. Right now, we're shooting this podcast because we like the feeling of what we're giving out to the world. We're doing this right now because it gives us a sense of gratification, because we know we're bringing value to the world. So we're doing this in actuality for the feeling that it gives us. So the essence of life is a feeling. So if once again, if you tap into the feeling, like you said, it's so powerful about getting your mind, your body, and your spirit into one in alignment, and you have that feeling of whatever you're thinking about, it has to manifest. Oh man, I love it. I love the value, King. I love that.
Oh, absolutely. And it's very interesting because I've then did the research and got the understanding of how the brain works and the brain chemistry and things like that.
Right.
But then I also did the studies on how the body works.
Ooh, okay.
And that's why it's very, very important to how we actually visualize and then how we talk to ourselves. Because the same way your body remembers trauma, well, your body can also remember good feelings.
Right.
And so this is what I show people to do. We'll do it real quick, right?
Absolutely.
So I'll say, what's the part of the body that you feel comfortable touching? And you may say, folding my hands. Okay, cool. We're going to fold your hands. Now, when you fold your hands, I want you to say 2 affirmations, right? But the affirmations that you want to say, they're not what you are. They're what you want to become. See, I help you to actually become what you're not what you already are.
Ooh.
Because most
like
people focus on what they're good at.
Right.
But I want you to actually start focusing on what you're not good at. So if you say, you know what, I want to work on my confidence level and I have a lot of stress. Okay. So 2 of your affirmations may be, I am confident and I am clarity. Right.
Right.
So now that you didn't say those affirmations and you holding your fingers together, right? Now you're going to say your affirmations. Just say the affirmations real quick. Say them 2 times.
All right. I am clarity and I am confident. I am clarity and I am confident.
Absolutely. Now, good job. Now, so you didn't folded your hands together, but now, did you actually believe those things? Because I didn't fully believe it. What I want you to do is I want you to now say it in a way that you actually are creating assertion. Because remember, how we say things is also like music. The frequency that's there. And so if you ever listen to music and there's a certain frequency, it actually gives you tingles in your body. So that's what we're doing. We're making it actually resonate. So I want you to fold your hands again. I want you to keep your hands folded, but I want you to say it, and I want you to say it with assertion now.
I am confident. I am clarity. I am confident. I am clarity.
Woo, absolutely. Now, see, what just happened was you just actually connected your mental, your physical, and your emotional. Because now what's going to happen is, even when you're not folding your hands, here's the beautiful thing, because we talked about what our body remembers. Your body is going to remember how it felt when you did fold your hands and say the affirmation. So when you are stressed and when you are losing focus, guess what? You fold your hands. You're going to your mind is going to tell your body, I'm not stressed and I have clarity.
Wow. Yo, I can't wait to get my audio system right so I can drop some bombs. Yo, like, that was fire. Yo, it's so crazy because, one thing I've learned, bro, because I've just started coaching and all that. I let all my followers know that this is a whole journey for me. But to hear that, and like to hear even what my coaches have told me, my mentors have told me, is like, you're not supposed to focus on what the person is telling you about them right now. You're supposed to focus on the thing that the individual is trying to go after. And it's brought about by an array of questions, right? And the fact when you sit here and you break down what you're going after, and then you use the system to remind the mind and the brain to go back to a peaceful place so you can level out again and then give you that confidence you need in that stressful space. Phenomenal, King. Phenomenal. Like, yo, listen to all my viewers and my listeners. You just got some value. For real. I really hope that you take this and use this, because if you don't, you are silly. Why? Because I am going to do it. Right? Like, I am going to do it. The next time I feel stressed about anything, I'm going to fold my hands. Why? Number one, I'm going to put his theory to the test. Number two, it's a value changer in my life. It's something that can make a positive change in my life. And this is what this is all about, guys. We're here supposed to be trying to be better than who we was yesterday. I didn't know the information he just put down in my spirit now, downloaded into my spirit. I didn't know it until today. So that means I am better today than I was yesterday. And that's the mindset we got to be in, y'all. That's the thought process we have to have each and every day to be more confident in ourselves, to raise our self-esteem. So really quick right now, I want to ask you a question, because you came in, this blew my mind already. What does the word confidence mean to you, King? What does that word mean to you? What is confidence?
Well, see, for myself, confidence has actually changed. The defined meaning has changed because I actually create my own definition for things. So
Okay, I
like
like it.
if a person said, well, this is what it means in the dictionary, well, that's not what it's gonna necessarily mean to me. See, confidence for me means learning myself to a degree that I didn't learn myself. Being able to speak up for myself in a way that I never did before.
Right.
Being comfortable enough to do things that are uncomfortable because I know it's going to help me get to the other side. Well, see, that's what confidence actually is for me. Learning how to actually put myself in a cocoon
Right.
so I can come out as a butterfly. And now that I'm a butterfly, I put myself in another cocoon.
Right. Right. Right.
Because I'm constantly changing. One thing that we do know, our mind is always constantly changing. Our body is always constantly changing.
Right.
Our feelings are always constantly changing. So what are we doing in order for us to change?
Right.
Because we have to understand growth does not come from comfort.
No, no, sir.
If a person is looking to grow, then you're not looking to be comfortable.
Facts.
Because if you're looking for growth, you're looking for discomfort. But where does discomfort come from? A lot of times discomfort comes from problems. But what does problems actually give you the ability to do? It gives you the ability to have critical thinking skills.
Right. Problem
So if
solving.
you're not looking for problems, then you're not looking for growth, and you're not looking to have your critical thinking skills developed, because that is what it's going to do. So
Right.
I actually tell people, look, welcome problems. You went biblical earlier, right? So we're going to go biblical again, right? One of my favorite books in the Bible is the book of James.
Right.
James 1:1 says, consider it all joy when you meet various trials, when you come to different problems. Why? Because those trials or those problems are going to help you change your view to it. Because it's going to help you grow in a different area of your life.
Right.
It may help you grow mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, economically.
Facts.
It may help you to grow in your appreciation.
Ooh.
So when I think of confidence, I think of what can I actually do to make me better. And I know that confidence is very, very important because I was a person who didn't always have confidence. I didn't always have confidence in myself.
Right.
I didn't always have confidence in speaking. Here's the kicker. As a black man, I didn't have confidence in expressing my feelings because I'll tell you what I'm thinking, but that doesn't mean I'll tell you how I feel. Which they're two totally different things. Because a lot of people may say, oh, well, what's on your mind? Oh, it's nothing on my mind. But you didn't ask me what's on my heart.
Right. Hey, yo, can we dive into that a little bit? Because that's how I want to talk about right now. The black man expressing his feelings, because that's a part of the fact that a lot of us are struggling with our confidence. We're not able to express our feelings. And when we do express those feelings, or we do have an opportunity to express those, we're condemned, we're combated, and we're made to feel like we're wrong. So express how that affects your life, bro, not being able to express yourself.
It affects my life in a bad way, in a positive way. And I don't even like to use the terms good or bad, positive or negative. I say favorable or unfavorable.
Right.
Because I'm in control of how I'm going to use that energy. That's why I say favorable or unfavorable, right?
Right.
And so when I weren't confident in speaking how I felt, that's because I was trying to protect myself. See, we look at it from a place of vulnerability. And we're vulnerable because we're saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do because I want a certain outcome. But when you're not able to be vulnerable, that's because you're trying to protect yourself from the ability of being hurt. You know what that looks like, and nobody likes pain. So myself, when I didn't have confidence in how I looked, I didn't always like how I looked. I used to say jokes like, I remember growing up as a kid, I went from skinny to fat, and people would be like, oh, well, you ugly, or you're not that attractive. And so I started making jokes. I started making jokes to myself, right? Saying, oh, well, I may not be the most handsome nigga in the world, right? And excuse my language.
Nah, you good.
But I would say I got cute features. Right? So I would
Right,
say
right.
I would
Trying to
say
make it
things
okay
like,
for
oh well,
yourself.
look at these eyebrows, man. I can get anybody with these eyebrows, right? Well, that was my way of trying to protect how I actually felt, because I
Right.
was taking what other people's opinion was of me and putting it onto myself, and then I realized, oh no, I
Right.
need to do that person's opinion like a hot potato. It doesn't belong to me. I need to get rid of it real
Real
fast.
fast. Real
And
quick.
so when I started saying, oh, that's what I need to do, and this I was later in years when I started developing this skill.
Right.
So even in my 20s, I was still like, oh yeah, I got cute features, because I didn't think that I looked handsome. But once I said, oh, my beauty is not just an outer appearance, it's also my mind, and it's
Mm.
also my heart, it's my character.
Talk
It's what
about it.
defines who I am. So now I started having more confidence in how I look, even based upon how I felt about myself because of my mind.
Right.
So now, once I started doing that, it didn't matter what somebody thought of me, because it's about what I think of me.
Right.
And so, a lot of times, I was finding myself latching on to validation of others. I was just
Ooh.
so geeked when I had somebody that's, oh man, he looked good. If it was a pretty girl, oh, he looked good. Or yo, oh man, oh well, the clothes that I got on, it gave me validation. Man, I know I look
Mm.
good because of these clothes. But when I come out of the clothes, do I feel like I look good? That was the real question. See, what I started doing was asking myself the questions that nobody else was asking me.
Mm.
And so once we start asking ourselves those real questions that
Talk about it.
really question our motives, that now is going to actually help shape our confidence. Because why am I so attached to what somebody else thinks? Why am I so attached to how other people feelings are towards me? If I can't look in the mirror and say, man, you look good, whether I'm fat, whether I'm skinny, whether I'm dark skinned, whether I'm light skinned, whether I got bumps on my face or not, it doesn't matter. Do I think I look good?
Right.
Because 100 people can tell me that I look good, but if I don't think that I look good, I'm actually not going to be able to receive it. And this is why it's very important for us to overcome that mindset of low confidence and be willing to actually gravitate towards being vulnerable with ourselves.
Right.
That's why we cannot accept other people even trying to encourage us, because we don't even know how to be vulnerable with ourselves. So how can I be vulnerable with somebody else?
Mm.
How can I be willing to accept something from somebody else? There are people trying to pour love into you, but you don't know how to receive it because you don't know how to receive love from yourself.
Mm. Yo, you know what's so crazy, bro? I'm excited because like all my clients, when they hear these podcasts, and like they like, it's going to be a refresher course, but it's going to be an echo chamber, right? Because we preach from the same books, right? So, and that's what I tell everyone: all information that we give it freely because it was given to us. We didn't just
Mhm.
make this stuff up, right? And what I understand so clearly now more than I did ever before is that individuals sometimes just need to be shown things so their perspective can shift, right? So they can see the same thing in a different light. And like, yo, just to be able to give someone a different perspective about how they look, even about themselves, that's the mental shift. That right there is a space where life can really be, it can make a shift for you, it can change for you. Because how you view yourself, like it's not just the intro of the show. It's about how you see yourself is how the world will see you. Like
Mhm.
if you see yourself in a negative light, I can guarantee you so will love everyone else. But if you see yourself as the best thing since sliced bread, guess what? There's going to be a market of people that will find you the same way. I'm not saying everybody's going to find you that way because guess what? Everyone is not for everyone. But if you are for you, there's no one that can be against you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And once we get into that space of learning that,
Mhm.
then that now puts us in a position of not looking for validation, because a lot of people are always looking for validation,
Right,
right? As
right.
just individuals, because nobody wants to feel left out, nobody wants to feel alone, right? But we have to validate ourselves, before we can get validation from anybody else. So one of the things that I do is make motivational quotes, right? On top of me being a motivational speaker. So I made a quote that said, the love you want should be the love you give. And so when we look at it from that standpoint, we have to give ourselves something in order for us to receive something. You cannot receive what you do not give.
Right.
And so if we are receiving proper confidence from ourselves, then we can give confidence and we can also receive confidence.
Right.
That's how we have to look at it. And it really changes, as you said, our perspective on things.
Right.
And that's why I really help people with my coaching. When they get one-on-one coaching with me, I really help them to shift their mindset so they can now actually do all the action steps, because this is why it's very important. Because the brain does not know the difference between a subconscious thought and physical reality. And this is the reason why when we're sleeping and we're dreaming and you cry in your sleep, guess what you do physically? You're crying because the brain doesn't know the difference. But you weren't crying. You were doing that in your mental, in the subconscious space.
Right.
So what we have to do is we have to reshape our subconscious so it can be aligned up with our conscious. And now we're in control of our feelings. There's only one thing that you are in control of, and that is how you feel.
Facts.
There's only one thing that you will only possess, and nobody else in this world can ever possess it. Your feelings.
Right.
That is it. And so once we understand that and we know that we are in full control of how we feel, now we have to do the work so we can control our feelings.
And let me tell you, I tell everyone, all my guys and everyone that I come in contact with, if you can control your thoughts and your feelings, you've mastered the game. Like you've stepped out of the matrix, because a man or woman, excuse me, that can control their emotions, their feelings, and their thoughts, man, that's complete control. And that right there gives you a certain confidence. Now, that's not to say that there's going to be times where you're not moved a certain way, that you might not be pulled out of your character a little bit, and all those things. Life happens, but for the most part, right, and the understanding of how you're looking at yourself and viewing what you're doing in life. The one thing and another question I wanted to ask you is, when you look at your uniqueness, right? Like there's certain things that only you possess, right? So your unique qualities. So that right there gives you a certain confidence. I want you to speak towards your uniqueness. When did you start really accepting your uniqueness and really let that start really benefiting you? Because a lot of times the things that we are uniquely designed to exhibit are the very exact things that make us insecure about who we are.
So for myself, it was probably about 10 years ago when I accepted my uniqueness, but it wasn't until about 5 years ago that I was able to actually hone in on it. And it wasn't until the last 2 years that I started developing it.
Right.
So 10 years ago, I realized that I had this ability to view things differently than other people.
Wow.
This is where I actually started talking about, how I define things. I choose to define things how I want to define them. I make those definitions. So once I started saying, oh, well, I have this ability that I don't think people actually got. So I can now take energy, because all circumstances in life is energy, right?
Right.
And now I can manipulate it. I manipulate how it is going to affect me. Do I want it to affect me negatively, or do I want it to affect me positively? That's my choice. It is actually not the circumstance.
True.
So as I got older, I'll use this example. Like I seen my father 5 times in my life.
Okay.
And something that before I had my daughter, I was a little insecure about being a father, because I didn't know what a father looked like. because I never seen what a father should or should not do. I said, man, my dad I only seen him 5 times in my whole life.
Right.
But then I had an aha moment, right? Where I said, well, what did my dad teach me? I asked myself this question, and I was probably like 19, right? And I said, what did my dad teach me? I said, well, my dad did teach me that one thing I need to do is show up, even though he never showed up.
Right. Right.
I need to be present. So I then became what I never saw.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now with my daughter, she's 16 years old. I show up for her 120%. I don't know how to not show up for her. But that wasn't because of something that I was taught, because of what happened
Mm-hmm.
or what he did do. I was taught that because of what he didn't do.
Right. You took the lesson. You took the
I
lesson
took
from
the
it.
lesson, and I actually said, how am I going to use this for my benefit? So that's when I started to realize that I had a unique skill.
Mm.
And then about 5 years ago, again, I started really saying how I can really benefit other people, because now I didn't see how I'm benefiting myself.
Right.
And so I didn't get into coaching and speaking until COVID actually happened in 2020.
Mm.
That's when I actually started looking to see how I can help people and coming up with a coaching program. And using that skill and actually using it on myself, that's when I said, man, I know what I'm doing, because I seen that I was able to fix the things in me. Now,
Right.
I'm always going to be working in me. I ain't acting like I got everything locked down or I do everything the right way. No, because we all imperfect.
Absolutely.
But what I do try to do is I see how I can improve when I'm ready to improve.
Right.
Because it's not about when somebody else thinks you're ready to improve. It's about when you think you're ready to improve. And this has a lot to do with what we talked about earlier, validation.
Completely correct.
Because when you're looking to be validated by somebody else, you're doing things on their timeline, not yours. So you're not going to be able to hold on to certain qualities. But when you do it when you're ready,
Mm-hmm.
now you're saying, this is a skill that I want, that I have. You're going to do all the work that's necessary in order for you to learn it, to you to develop it, and for you to implement it.
Correct.
And so that's how I use it for myself, my own uniqueness. And then also, I don't think that it's a coincidence that I came up with the name Mr. Mindful Minute, right? A lot of people tend to tell me, hey, you know a lot about a little bit. Right? And so I find myself always trying to gain knowledge about different things and then applying this knowledge on different things and then sharing that information with people for free.
Mm.
And so now I can have
The
different
value.
conversations with different people.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, well, how do you know about this? Oh, I just learned from different things. I'm
Right.
always looking for growth of knowledge of myself and of other things and how I can use that to my advantage. I'm always saying, well, what can I learn that has nothing to do with my skill set that is actually going to supplement my skill set?
Mm.
So a lot of
Go
people
through a
don't
process.
know. I don't even promote this. I'm a holistic person, right? I'm working on becoming a holistic doctor,
Nice.
right? So I know about herbs and how to heal the body. I've been vegan for like 4 years, right? So I know about nutrition because I also became a certified nutritionist. Well, I also know about health and fitness because I'm also a certified personal trainer.
But it
So
all ties together though.
it all ties together for me, so I can always gravitate to different conversations. But it's not about gravitating to those conversations. It's about, how do I want to show up right here, right now? See,
Right.
Mr. Mindful Minute is multifaceted, is multidimensional, but I only coach in one area and I speak in one area. So
Got
when I speak, I always speak about having a mindset of greatness. But when I coach people, That is you bridging the gap between your mental, physical, and emotional. But I'm going to speak to you in a way on how you can be encouraged, inspired, and motivated all at the same time. So that's one of my unique abilities that I found out about myself.
Man, listen, and one thing that uniqueness about you, you didn't find it early in life, and if you didn't know you have it earlier, you wasn't trying to exude it, right? And that's the one thing a lot of us have who have made decisions to be better who they are in life, is that they've made a decision, right, to not let what they found to be an insecurity hold them back, but actually propel them for greatness and actually move them into their purpose in life. So that's a lot of my message that I want to get across to everyone that's checking this platform out, is to make sure that you out here in these streets being as great as you can, having the mindset of greatness, and also just putting yourself in a position to just be okay with who you are, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not okay with who you are and what you stand for, you're never going to be whole. You're always going to be searching for that thing we talked about earlier, that validation. And I tell everyone who's even in the space of looking for validation, if you are looking for it, please don't search externally. Please don't search externally, because you will be searching for a long time. But if you search internally, I'm telling you, you'll find the answers. And if you need any kind of help in that space, these are what this platform is about. Myself, my brother Victor, Mr. Mindful Minute, this is what we do. We are in the game to help people become the better versions of who they are. Why? Because we understand the value. We know where we were, we know where we are currently, and we know where we're going. And understanding that right there, that understanding of who you, the person that you are and the skills you possess will take you far in life. And that's the value that that I really pray in God that everybody takes away from this podcast today. Because at the end of the day, if you don't see yourself with the value and you don't have a mindset to build yourself up, you're in a space where you need a lot of help. And that's not to say with no slight. That's not to try to cast any judgment. It's to tell you the truth as a big brother, as a homie, as somebody that cares. You just got to get yourself in a space where you can receive the help you need, man. So,
well, for sure. And just to touch on that real quick, the reason why I speak a mindset of greatness is because if greatness is your mindset, then no matter what your circumstances are, you could still be great. Because a lot of people tend to think that greatness is circumstances or it is what you're doing. Well, what happens when the circumstances change and they're unfavorable? That means you're not great no more. But if you have a mindset of greatness, then no matter if the circumstances change, you can create greatness because your mindset is greatness and you're always looking to see how you can make greatness. So that's what I always try to tell people. This is why my message is always go be great. I wear it on my hat. It's on my logo. It says go be great. It's actually an affirmation and it's also structured a certain way. It says go because that's direction. Right. It says be because that's a command. Right. And great is whatever it is in your life that you want it to be.
Fire. So yeah, y'all heard that. Y'all heard what that man said. He gave you a directive. He didn't just give you a bunch of theory, because if anybody knows me, knows I am not a theologian. I don't like theory like that. I'm not hung up in it. One thing I like is practicality. This man just gave you a direct order. Go. Be. Right? Great. Now, we don't know what your greatness is. Only you know that. Only you can decide that. But guess what? That's the beauty of life. You have decisions to make. You have choices to make. And on today, we challenge you. We challenge you to make a decision today. Are you going to have a mind of greatness? Are you going to have the thought process of you being great better than you were yesterday? Because I'm telling you, if you make the decision right where you are in that space, that's where change begins for you. And let me tell you, change is the most powerful thing that we can invoke in our lives, especially when we know we want to be greater than what we are currently. And how do you do it again? You go be great. Have the mindset shift, y'all. It's all about the mindset and perspective. Yo, I thank you so much, King, because this episode is jam-packed full of value. And I truly, truly understand that we don't understand what we're doing right now. In the long run, the seeds that we're planting right now, we'll never see the trees of. But I know for a fact, doing things like this will leave this earth in a better place once we're no longer here for our kids and our kids' generations to come. So I thank you, my brother, for taking time out of your day. I appreciate you for dropping the value that you did. Please do me a favor and let the people know how they can contact you and where they can find you, my brother.
So if anybody wants to contact me, they can do it on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So on Instagram, Mr. Mindful Minute, you can click the link in my bio, get you a free 15-minute affirmation clarity call, right? Or you can even check out my podcast, Mr. Mindful Minute Podcast, on all platforms, right? And that podcast is strictly personal development. But I talk about a range of different topics, from mental, from emotional, right? Even from things that we may not have knowledge in. So I have people on the podcast that may talk about taxes. That's personal development. That may talk about real estate. That's personal development. What it actually looks like for you to do certain things. If you want to start working out, you got fitness questions. I got people on there that talk about that stuff. So we go from a nothing place in different areas of our life, and the podcast is to help you go to a something place in different areas of our life. So just check that out. And yeah, definitely feel free to tap in with me, and always get the motivation, because I'm always trying to, again, encourage, empower, and inspire all at the same time.
My brother, I really hope that everyone out there comes to connect, because I feel enriched. I feel empowered just from this conversation alone. I feel like a better individual, a better man, because I connected with a brother like yourself. And this is what it's all about. It's about the community. It's about the environment. It's about who you placing around in your life. Who are you connecting with, right? Because if someone is pouring into you and is not benefiting you, it's hurting you. There's no other ways about it. So you can choose to have people around you in your life who are pouring things in you that don't benefit you, or you can contact people like my brother, Victor, Mr. Mindful Minute, myself, other men that I've brought on this platform to enlarge your territory. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. I'm telling you, it's about building your community the right way, with the right foundational blocks and the right people around you. So listen, contact my man, reach out to him, get the 15-minute call. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Make the decision today to be better, be better today than who you was yesterday, and that's enough. No one else can ask any more of you. And if they do, I know my energy. It don't matter anyway. So with that being said, y'all, listen, check this out. This has been another phenomenal episode. I appreciate you, my God. Thank you so much for coming through. And you will definitely be back again. Absolutely. You will not be a stranger to this platform. I appreciate you and your time once again.
I appreciate the opportunity.
No question at all. You definitely blessed the platform with a tremendous amount of value today, and we appreciate it. And to everybody out there, listen, you guys understand that your confidence in your character is your responsibility. That's no one else's responsibility. So with that being said, take care of your responsibilities. And remember, confidence is all about how you see yourself. This has been the Uniquely Confident Podcast. I am your host, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And you guys know my motto, and you know my energy. But until the next time I see you guys, be good to yourself and the ones around you. But if you can't be good to the ones around you, it's okay. Just get those folk from around you. This is RJ, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace. Have a good one.